we have to do before we open? Good question, huh? Hi, welcome to Gooseberry Bridge Farm. This is the flower field behind me, and I am getting ready to mow because we are prepping to open for the first time this summer. I'm going to show you a bit of what's blooming and other issues we're dealing with right now. Alright, so I'm kind of standing right in the middle of our flower field, which, as you can see, there's a lot of really tiny stuff and there's some bigger stuff, but like these are branching sunflowers, but they're not really, I don't see anything that's open yet, and they probably should have been, like, I should probably pinch these so that the branches grow, but I haven't yet. And these are the smaller branching sunflowers. Here's some cosmos. They're just getting started. Most of them aren't really doing anything, but like this one is really pretty, and that's actually got a nice long stem. So I'm gonna leave that. We're opening tomorrow night. Got amaranth. It's all tiny except for the section that got torn up by something and is dead. We've had some really bad mole issues this summer. I didn't have any moles in the field last summer, so that sucks. But this is our pollinator garden. It's not blooming at all yet. We've got single stem sunflowers up here that are getting pretty close. I think these are supposed to bloom in about 10 days. And I'll go with that estimate on most of them. There's more cosmos. We have tons of zinnias in this upper field. This is a whole row of gomphrena, a globe amaranth, which is, most of it's really small still, but we've got some reasonable little stems in here. So these next 4 rows are all zinnias. They've struggled with the wetness this spring based on when they were planted, but they are actually improving. These looked just completely awful. They were all yellow with like fungus spots all over them last week. And now they're mostly looking better. They're growing new green leaves, and you can kind of see how they look yellow at the bottom but green at the top. So I think they're going to be okay. They did the same thing last year just because this field is so wet in the spring. I planted later this year and it didn't help as much as I'd hoped, but here we are. These are just so stinking cute. These are sunbow zinnias, and they're tiny and adorable. I've got more of them in the front part of the field up there that are looking a lot better. We're on the edge of the field now. This is the earliest planted zinnias. They are opening. These are the sunbows, just like the ones up in the other field. They're adorable and tiny and cute, and then they get a little bit bigger because those are Oklahomas, these guys. And on this side, this is just a mix. I think I got a pretty good variety of colors. I've got some of pretty much every color of Oklahoma zinnias. And then back here, these aren't blooming yet. These are the Benaries giants. These should make really big flowers. That one is just starting to open. It's not that big, but they will get bigger as the plants get bigger. These plants, though, they look awesome. They're all branching and full. The next row over there is Rudbeckia and Celosia, and then you can see this big blank ugly spot up there. That's where my bachelor buttons were all over the ground, and then they actually started rotting on top of each other, which was kind of gross, and I had to cut them all out. And I'm going to plant probably snapdragons there. So I've got them started already. I don't know if they will make it through the being planted in mid-June, but we'll see. Maybe we'll have some late snapdragons. This is the yarrow. I've got some giant tansy here. This is only 2 plants. It's a perennial bush or something. Makes yellow flowers later on. We'll see. I've got kind of a mess of random stuff over here. Those are my ranunculus crates I need to clean out. The rest of my glads still aren't here. My spring glads, and it's mid-June, so that's been fun. This swing frame that's covered in netting is going to have vining hyacinth beans and Malabar spinach on it for cutting. This is a weedy jungle, but this row is all status. It's going to be amazing here pretty soon. It's all got buds, but they're not quite all open yet. Here's some that's open. So pretty. But it goes all the way down there. This row here is basil, and it had a rough start because it actually frosted like the day after I planted it. Weird late frost, and basil doesn't like that, but it's doing pretty good. This one's doing awesome. It's getting branches. Pretty soon we'll be able to start cutting off of these. They smell fun. I've been pruning and pinching it to try to help it bush out and make these long branches. But the weeds in between this row. These rows are closer together than the rows in the other part of our field, so we could fit more flowers, and I can fit the mower down that row and this row, but not this one. And I'm not even sure you can tell on camera how bad that is, but it is really up past my knees in places, so I'm gonna have to just take the weed eater down that row. But this is all just gorgeous. We're gonna be opening tomorrow night. So another part of prepping to open is like all of this stuff I've been stacking next to my greenhouse. I'm going to have to hide that somewhere and make it look nice and neat. The greenhouse is kind of a mess, but not too bad. Nothing as bad as last year, but I've got all of this to pick up. We've got these T-posts we've been working on. All of the rows up here need T-posts for their flower netting. We've got some of the rows done. I'm going to put hoops over this row so that it'll be ready for fall, but we're going to use the hoops to support the netting. So that means we have, what, 1, 2, 3, 6 more rows up here that need netting. One down there. I'm not going to do the pollinator row, even though I'll probably regret it. And the dahlia row needs netting. I'm not going to do the basil because it was totally fine through all of last year, so we'll just cross our fingers. All right, time to get mowing. Hey, so I'm standing in the shade here today. Today is Tuesday, June 15th, and we are opening for U-Pick summer flowers for the first time today. As I've been talking about yesterday, we have a lot of prep work to do. I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you the field after I mowed last night. It was too dark by the time I finished mowing to show you then, but we still have a lot of weeding to do that we're probably not going to do because really it doesn't have to be that perfect. I'm gonna go with that anyway. All right, here is the flashiest part of the field, and these things never show on camera like they are in person, but this is very colorful. It's gonna look really different tomorrow. And look, here, we'll go down the row and see all of this Chinese blue forget-me-nots. They're just like, they're so pretty. And all of these snapdragons. This bee's friend, a lot of it is on the way out, but oh, there's a bee friend. Come on, camera. Anyway, like this is kind of old, but it's also kind of cool looking, and it still has a pretty good base life even when you take it like that. This one is a lot better. It smells amazing. And I'm thinking if we can get all this cut back, then maybe it'll grow back again, but some of it is kind of dying, so I'm not sure. I've never grown it before, so I don't know how it does with the heat. This calendula is amazing looking and just so productive. It looks so much better than what I planted last year. I'm not really sure why. I do need to come in and deadhead all of these guys off of here. I was keeping up with it and drying all of the blooms that were done or on their way out. But yeah, now I'm behind, as you can see. That's a lot. of dead ones, but I will fix that. I missed a lot last year because they all reseeded. This is all blanket flower, and then there's some fancy blanket flower. There's some more calendula in here. I don't know how it got here. These guys are really pretty. And the pollinators are supposed to love them, but they haven't been on them much because there's all this bee's friend right here, and they like that more. My status, you can actually see it now that I mowed. And the straw flowers, this one is falling down for some reason. Stand up, little guy. I'm gonna have to get something in there to hold that up. But they're all looking really good. I've got dahlias blooming, which is just crazy, but I'm not really cutting them yet. Kind of just, I need to pinch them, and you'll see there's a yellow one. They're mostly singles. This is a brand new one. I don't know what it will look like. There's a red one down there. Anyway, I've mowed the berry patch too, which is, this is our blackberry and raspberry patch. Anyway, and I've cleaned up most of the stuff that would have ended up in the background of people's pictures around our greenhouse. Not all of it, but most of it's cleaned up. This is all mowed back here. This field just isn't ready yet. We actually went through and trimmed most of the flowers off of the plants up there because they're just so small. I didn't want people cutting off the whole plant, which surprisingly happened last year. We've got some cosmos that are ready that are just gorgeous. These are so pretty. I don't know what's what because I just planted them in a rush between rains and didn't. Oh my gosh, this one was broken off, but look at that. I bet these are the pink bicolor double clicks. I have violet double clicks too, which I think is what this one is. Let's see, pink, I think those are pink and violet. I don't know, I'm just guessing. Then the candy floss, and I think down here, these are cranberry double clicks, which are also just gorgeous. And most of these plants I didn't get around to pinching. You can kind of tell which ones I did. Like these down here did not get pinched. They're taller, but like there's a perfectly usable stem right there without, like there's no reason to pinch that. It's already branching. It's doing awesome. Okay, we had a goat escape. I got distracted there for a minute. The other thing we cleaned up in preparation for opening, and we still have more we have to do out here. We cleaned up this porch of this building. We cleaned up our farm store a little bit, though it is still a horrible mess because it's not set up as a farm store. We kind of got an office section and a storage section. I'll give you a quick peek. You can envision what it'll look like as a farm store, not as a storage building. This is all of our stuff that we're going to set up at a table outside. Anyway, so there's the field. It's all cleaned up, it's mowed, it's weed eated. I kind of looked everything over. At this point in the season, I'm going to have to direct people a lot more than I would if it were August and everything were just crazy and in blooming, and I could just tell them, you know, cut stems the length of your arm and strip the leaves and you're done. But with this kind of setup, I have to be really careful. I learned last year we told people you know, where to cut and what to cut, and we didn't go with them at all in the early season. I had lost a half a dozen plants or so to people cutting them off as a base. Like, we could not sustain that, obviously. We do have a lot more plants this year. Like last year I had 800 zinnias, and this year there are probably at least 12 or 1,500 out there. Just as an example. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm sitting on the building porch because it's sunny and hot. And later this evening, hopefully there'll be people here. This is my helper, Annie. We're having popsicles now. Hi. So we were open tonight, and not too many people came, but it was about half what I was hoping for, but we didn't advertise very much because we didn't want to be too busy, and it's a Tuesday night, so not bad. I had this table all set up with all sorts of fun stuff, which I will insert a picture of because I forgot to take any video while we were not busy. We were chatting up people and having a good time, so we didn't take any video. Good job me.